777, turn right, heading 185, reduce speed 180 knots.
185 on the heading, 180 on the seat Gulf Air 007.
Speedbird 124, reduce speed 160 knots to 40 me.
Reduce 160 to 4024.
Hello there guys, Matt here, hope you're all well and welcome back to another, guess what, P3D video. Okay, the last one that I did in the 777 was a unanimous success. It was absolutely phenomenal. I don't think I've ever received such support and such positive feedback over a video in my entire YouTube career. So for that I must thank you, and that has led to this. We are in Hong Kong in the 300ER in the UK flagship carrier British Airways. This is service Speedbird 28 or BA28 from Hong Kong back to London. Now, it's been a long time coming. I did actually want to do this video a while back, but this was before I was over into P3D. It was actually going to be done in FSX, but I'm glad I waited, because now we have all the eye candy of P3D and the knowledge that I can actually land into Heathrow without an out of memory error, which is always cool. So, I've done some planning, and normally this takes, I'd say, just under 12 hours on a good day, kind of over 12 hours on a bad day. It's pretty bad today. It's actually going to take us 13 hours and 1 minute, and that's because at the moment over kind of Europe and a little bit of Russia, there is a monstrous headwind, and by monstrous I mean up to 160 knots in some places, so that slows us right down. So we have a trip time today of 13 hours and 1 minute, which is great. It's a long time, and yeah. So at the moment we've planned for 230 ton zero fuel weight, which is only 7 tons under maximum zero fuel weight. We're carrying 496 people, of which 35 of those are infants, quite a lot of infants, and we are taking a total of 18 tons of cargo. What else can I tell you? Fuel wise, we're taking 117 tons of fuel. This thing carries a lot. It's very heavy, so it'll be very slow to climb. I might just notice that someone has gone absolutely crazy with the details on these tires. This repaint is from Alex Farmer, Gold Star Textures. I'm sure everyone knows about that. He goes into some incredible detail with this texturing. You can see there, these are tires for a 777 and also a 767-300, which is cool to know. The things you figure out from looking at repaints, very nice. But yeah, these are the good old GE90 engines. Absolutely monstrous things. You'll probably know the old tale that one of these things, just one, can power a fully laden 747 all the way up to cruise. So all of that power in just one single engine, and just for the hell of it, Boeing decided to put a second one on there. You can just see it underneath, just there. I follow a couple of British Airways pilots on Twitter, and I always get the lowdown of what they're up to, and it's nice because that means that I can implement some of their strategies into this flight. But yeah, it's good. It's good fun. The first, or the business class of BA, is very, very nice, and they always like to post pictures. We're in Golf Sierra Tango Bravo Hotel, and yeah, I think that's really it. So 13 hours, 1 minute of flying. Hopefully we'll get out of Hong Kong before it goes dark. We'll be arriving at Heathrow at about 5 AM, 6 AM, so it'll just be becoming light. You'll see some nice lighting over London, and maybe a little bit of lighting as we depart from here, depending on how quick we are. It's just approaching, I think it's about 5:20 in the evening here, so it's about to become dark. You can see it's getting a bit murky at the moment. You see the clouds and the sun, and it's all going away. It's becoming dark. So anyway, that's probably the longest introduction I've ever done to any of my videos, so I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a long one. I do apologise if you get bored. I'll try and skip as much of the sort of, yeah, the rubbish bits out as I can, but let's do this. This is an interesting view to start from, isn't it? You don't really realise or appreciate the actual size of a flight deck when you constantly sat in the left or the right seat. It's not often you actually get to explore it, so I figured that we'd start at the back and we'd work our way forward. And yeah, the 777 flight deck, I mean, okay, in relativity to the size of the aircraft, it's tiny, but in relativity to something like a 737, it's a little bit bigger. Not as much as you would think. It's not as spacious as you would think, considering the size of it. But yeah, it has 2 jump seats, and that's really it. There's 2 more seats at the back, but I mean, it's pretty spacious at the back for the people that sat at the back, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I just thought I'd figure, well, I just figured even that if we started at the back and had a look around, you'd actually get to appreciate the size of it, which is it's pretty nice. I'm sure someone will make some sort of wicked innuendo from me just saying that. Notice how we only have 1 air bridge connected. I would love to be able to get the other one to move, but I don't know how, so it's just staying as 1 for the moment. Anyway, enough rambling, let's get on. So I have my EasyDock preset set up. I'm sorry if it flashes, it's just the way HDR likes to deal with things. So the first thing we need to do, really, I would imagine, is to just make sure everything is reset. So I'll open the checklist and I will make sure that the resets are all done. This is a brand new aircraft for me because I've only just reinstalled the 777, so it's all good. Right, so what we'll do is we'll stick that page on doors for now so we can see what's going on. And I might actually need to use the 3rd FMS to open up the back doors, because for some reason GSX, that just became very, very bright all of a sudden. That was rather strange. Wait, is that the sun going down that ended up making it lighter? That was very weird. Okay. What I was saying is sometimes you need to open the doors for it to get underway as far as deplaning and boarding. See, there you go. It's a bit tragic that you have to do that. That's why I would love to get the first air bridge to come to the first door, because it just looks a bit naked when the door's open and there's nothing attached to it. Nothing really I can do about that. Anyway, so we'll leave the 3rd FMS on the doors page, and we'll also leave the lower display, ECAM, ECAS, I can't remember what the name of it, ECAS, that's it, ECAS, on the doors page. Okay, so overhead panel I think is on my number 2, yeah it is. We'll turn the ADIRUs on and we'll just work in a flow as we always do. So at the moment we're on external power, which is fine. The generator switches are on, but of course the warning lights because there's nothing happening right now. Emergency lights can arm, and the ground proximity runway override switch is out of the way. Window heats can stay on. Hydraulics are good for now. Passenger signs, well, we'll finish fueling so we can turn those on. And then coming down here, everything is good. Back up to the top, all good. Jettison panel we don't need. We can turn the, actually we leave the fuel pumps off for now. It doesn't really make a difference, and the lights are good now. If we can turn the logo light on, I mean it's getting a bit dark, it's not too bad. Coming into the last panel, packs are off, we can turn those on. They'll remain off anyway. It's all very automatic. I think they call it a moonlit configuration, so as long as there's no warnings on in orange when you're started and you're ready to go, you're good. But for the majority, it's very automatic until things start to go wrong. So there's the overhead flow done. Next we can go down to the FMCs and we can kickstart that process. So if we go here and go to FMC and then just clear that out of the way. Position initialization, we've done this before. We're on the ground at Hong Kong, Victor Hotel, 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 and we are on November 34, which is today's flight went out of or landed and parked on November 34, so we'll use that. Grab the GPS position, stick that in. Route page, route request, 777, and then Hong Kong to Heathrow, we'll request that. Wait for that to do its thing. It takes a little bit of time, there's a small input delay with that happening. But we always expect that. For some reason, when I go to that view, it's really, really laggy, but when I look around the rest of it, it's fine. I have a feeling it's something to do with this, you know, when you use the checklist and stuff, it's just a bit weird. Anyway, the route uplink is ready, so we can load that. And from that, we can wait. It's just doing it now. Our planning says that we're going to depart from 25 right, which is nice. Just wait for that to do its thing. So we're Speedbird 28, top right, and runway 25 right. Now, the departure is the Beckol to Delta, so we can throw that in, 25 right, Beckol to Delta, and then from that we can activate it, and then we can root copy it just in case something goes wrong and we have to restart. Just means I've got it backed up, which is nice. Okay, init ref page we can do next, and we can request the perf init. We're actually climbing up to flight level 3. Actually it's metric first, so it's flight level 302, which is 9,200 meters. So that's going to be our initial climb, which is a bit odd, but it's okay. And the performance gives us initially flight level 280, which is interesting. Now, I know some airlines don't do this themselves, so we're going to have to... We can accept it, that's fine. I'm just going to set the step size even to 0. The reserves are all good. The cruise out, though, is wrong. We need to change that. So we need to put that to flight level 302. Actually, that's interesting. Yeah, 302. We'll do that, 302. I'm hoping it accepts that. Yeah, it does. Nice. Right, the centre of gravity, I'm going to stick that to 17.5 because I know that's what Emirates does. I'm just going to copy, even though this isn't Emirates. And then thrust limit page, well, we don't have a D-rate option. We don't really have much of a D-rate today. We are D-rating to only 30 degrees. It's pretty heavy. And 2.5 right. It's pretty reasonable, but again, we're 7 tons under our max capacity. Our maximum takeoff weight is 352 tons, and we are at 345 tons. Yeah, we're pretty heavy. Takeoff, flap 5, CG, we can double click, and gross weight, takeoff gross weight is, as I said, 346 tons. And look at that, V2 193. Just take that in. Almost 200 knots is our V2. Our rotate is 187. V2 193. That is insane. Now, I spoke to a few people, and apparently you don't actually have to fill this page in, but there isn't any harm in doing it either, so I don't mind filling it out while we're here. The surface wind is 290 degrees at 4 knots. And the runway slope is 0, and it's dry. The temperature is 21 degrees, so we don't need any anti-ice, that's good. And the engine out acceleration height is 1,000, acceleration height is 1,000, and thrust reduction is 1,000. Now, there's a problem with this. We have some clearance issues that we need to get away. Actually, no, we don't, never mind. Wrong runway. From 07s you do, but for us 25s it's not a problem. So we can leave that as is. It's no issue. We're taking off even towards the sea and then turning left. If you're taking off 07s, you go out towards the city and you have to do some other procedure. But it's fine. I don't know why I got into that then. Okay, so 193 is the speed we need to put into the MCP speed window. So 193. There's that. Okay, back down here, and then we'll stick into VNav. And actually, I should, like an idiot I am, I forgot to get my charts up because I don't know the transition altitude off the top of my head. But I did this flight. Well, I did this to Dubai. I did Hong Kong to Dubai. I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that. And it was off runway 07s. That's why I started talking about the weird climb thing, and I can't remember the transition, so I'm stupid. Anyway, it's 9,000, and the restriction 261 below 10, whatever. It's fine. We don't have any ATC, and the initial climb on this is 5,000 as well. So we'll stick that initial altitude in. Stick it to 10k. Sorry, 1,000 even. 5,000 feet is the initial. And then we can go to the legs page. Now, we're looking for the step climbs, and they are in metric initially. We're starting at 302, and then BAVT. We'll find BAVT. Where is it? BAVT. There it is. We just went past it. We're stepping to 315. Now, I know I did get taught the correct way to do the step climbs, and I've completely forgot, so I'm just bringing /315S in. It has the exact same purpose, so it really doesn't matter. And then we're back into normal, non-metric at Turan, which is Tango Romeo, and there it is, Turan NDB, and then from there we're actually at flight level 320. I think it's just 320S, maybe it... Yeah, it is. Okay, you don't have to put the /, it's fine. Okay, so after that it's 340 at EGLL, even. There's EGLL on the page there. 340S at EGLL. And then 340 still, 360 at Resmo. So we'll find Resmo. There's Resmo. 360S at Resmo. And then anything else along the way? Nope, that's the way. That's 360 all the way then until top of descent. So we're only going as high as 360. Route data. We are looking for top of climb, so a Duma will be fine for us. Where is that? Let's find a Duma. Oh, hang on, I'm on the wrong page. I need to go to page 1. There we go. A Duma, there it is. So from a Duma, we need to go find the winds, and then we need to request those winds. So actually, no, it's not a Duma. It's a Buddha. Yeah, Bravo Uniform Bravo Delta Alpha is this one here. So for that, we have winds available at 252. We have winds available at 272. Remember, we're still on metric, so that's why that happens. We have winds at 292. And we also have winds at 312. We can execute that, and for where we're going, we can actually just wind data request that now, and it should just come through and populate those fields. Now we can do a bit more wind jigging along the way, but for now, just to get us a sort of mediocrely accurate wind report, we can use that. So we can load them. And then if we look back, you'll see it's populated the stuff. Because I don't actually know the technical term for it. Descent forecast uplink ready. I mean, we could do if you want. I mean, I'll show you it. So descent forecast. If you go to forecast, and then you can load it in there. But again, once we get closer to London, then we can re-request that quite easily. I know the transition level is 6.5 in London. Actually, no, it's 6,000 feet. I don't know where I got 6.5 from then. 6,000 feet, you go flight level 60. Okay, so that's the climbs done, and that's the wind done. Just as far as the initial bit. We'll do some more wind stuff once we get in the air, but for now that's good. It's landing us into Heathrow at let's see, 5,506 miles, 2239 Zulu, which doesn't seem right, and 11.5 tons of fuel. I am happy with that at the moment. Bear in mind we haven't put any other winds in, and it doesn't quite know of the strong headwinds over Europe. So we'll leave that on the takeoff page. We'll head over to the second FMC, and we'll program that to be on the legs page for now. Stick the auto brake to RTO, that's fine. And then looking at the departure chart, runway heading out of here is 253, so we'll set that up to 253. 53, very good. And we'll put the left flight director on first, right foot second. On LNAV, on VNAV, VOR's up, and data on that side, as well as traffic. And on the other side, we can take, let's see, we'll do VOR's up, we'll do data, we'll do terrain, we'll do traffic. So this painting a pretty picture on there. Very good. Alright, so that is that programmed for the minute. You can see we've got an up trim of 6.25. So actually, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. We've got a good centre of gravity, so it's not too bad. Okay, what else? Are we done? Are we ready for the pre-flight checklist, I think they call it? Yeah, let's do it. So, pre-flight checklist, oxygen. We could test it, but I'm not going to do that. It's good. Flight instruments, well, they're all set. We just went through those. Heading is on that side, set at 164, sorry, 163 and 163 on that side as well. Altimeters are 1019, indicating 40 feet on that side, 40 feet on that side. Good stuff. The parking brake is set. And now, if you press the checklist button again, it'll go to the next menu if we come out of it and then back in, which is nice. So, before start checklist, we can run through this. So, flight deck door is not modeled, so we'll just say it's closed and locked. MCP is set. Takeoff speeds are set. CDU pre-flight is complete. Trim is 0 for the moment. Taxi and takeoff briefing, well, it's only me flying sadly, so I kind of just talk to myself. And the beacon light, we're just waiting on that for the moment. So, we'll go back to the doors page, and we'll close her up and we'll get underway. Let's close the front and the back door and the middle one as well. And also, if we go like this, I'm actually going to reset GSX's position because I forgot to open the catering doors, but it doesn't matter, no one needs food. That's ironic coming from me, isn't it really? Prepare for pushback and departure. And we want to go nose to, let's see, we want to go nose left. So we'll do that, and then we'll go back to doors, and we'll arm them, like so, and then everything is set. Okay, so while we do that, we can, or while that's going and closing and everything, we can fire up the APU, so to the right. You see that'll start to drain from the left forward pump. Turn it on, and then once that's on, we'll get rid of the ground power and everything else, and we'll get underway. Let's check the outside, what's going on. We're ready for pushback apparently. Well, we're not, so let's get rid of the air bridge, and we've still got to wait for the rest of it yet. GSX is one step ahead of me, so I'm just waiting for the APU to come online. Let's look at the engine page. See what's going on there. Everything is dead as it should be. Should probably check all the pages really and just see what's going on. You see the APU starting there. 400 degrees, RPM 42, 43, 44. It's on its way. Now you could check the cam, but I don't want to ruin my frame rates. What else have we got? Com, nav. Look at that. Put the display down there. Anyway, back to the status page, just wait for the APU. It's almost hitting 100 RPM. She'll never get to, there we go. APU is running, very good. Okay, so the APU generator is on, and we can get rid of the external power. We don't need any more. That means now that we can get rid of the ground connections completely. And then we can go to the engine page, that's fine. Go back to the checklist, see what's what. We can whack the beacon on, and that is the before start checklist complete. And then we can get the engine page back up for the engine start sequence, which is relatively straightforward. The hydraulics are not set at the moment, so trimming would be completely useless. So what we'll do is we'll turn the fuel pumps on. Do we have fuel in the center? Yes, we do. Of course we do. We are ridiculously heavy. So we'll release the brakes. We'll get underway, and on the push we'll pressurize the hydraulics. TCAS. Actually, we can just fire that on now. It's fine. We can cancel that, and we can start the right elect demand pump. Wait for the fault light. Which will go eventually. There we go. And the left one. And once that's gone, we can just turn them all on, I think. Yeah. Just go crazy with those. That's fine. Okay. Now they're on, and all the fault lights are out, which they are. We can fire up number 2. Away it goes. We're just looking for oil pressure to go past 2%. Once it's done that, we can fire the fuel in. And then it's just a case of monitoring things. Relatively simple. See the N2's rising, M1's rising. 25, 30% almost. We are turning to the right, are we? Nope, not yet. It always amuses me when you push back with GSX because it just absolutely breaks the tiller and the rudder. It's pretty funny. Engine 2 firing up there. Oh, that's still in American units. Let me just turn the brightness down of that gauge as well because it is awfully bright. And I can't really make out what it's saying. Good old HDR. There we go, that's a bit better. Oh, I think I just broke it. Okay, I clicked it too many times. I think it's trying to catch up with itself. Okay, that's number 2 online. We can go ahead and start number 1. Wait for 2% oil pressure. I don't know if it's percent or just units. It might be like some sort of unit. I say percent. I just mean 2, a reading of 2. I'm trying to get this gauge back on. I think I just broke it. Oh dear. Oh wait, it's back. It's back. Hello there, welcome back. It's not really that necessary, but I don't know. Paranoia is a great thing. Did I put the fuel in? Yeah, I did. Auto start is delaying itself. That's always fun. Relatively short taxi out to 25 right. It's just a runway there, so it's left. Well, I mean, okay, let's not just say left and right. Let's be proper about this. So we push back from November 34. We're currently on Bravo 7, which is this bit here. So what we need to do is we need to go out via Bravo 8, right on Alpha, and then hold Alpha 12, 25 right. Is that better? Instead of just saying left, right, left, right. I don't know where this thing is pushing me. I assume behind me is actually a taxi. Oh, no, it is. Okay, it's done it right. It's done it right. I'll let it off. It did it right. It's because it was a curved bit of taxiway. That's pretty impressive, actually. Good old AFCAD's actually working properly for a change. I'm going to zoom this into 10, actually. I can't wait to rotate this thing. 7 tons under maximum takeoff weight. I'm going to have to do it like a degree every 10 minutes. Okay, parking brake is set. And then we can go to the flight controls page. And we can do a control check, which is always the best part about flying, I think. I love looking at people do control checks when you're sat as a passenger. Looks great. So full left, full right, all the way back, all the way forward. And there's full left deflection on the rudder, and full right deflection. We want trim of 6.25, so there's 4, there's 5, there's 6, and there's 6.25. Okay, so we're done with that. And go back to the checklist. We'll take flap 5. And, oh, actually I want to go back, because I just missed. Oh no, it was before taxi. So anti-ice is not required. Recall is checked. No warnings. Auto brake RTO. Flight controls are checked. And ground equipment will say is clear. There's no problem. And then that's the before takeoff checklist, which will be green once the flaps are 5 for green light. There we go. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's blind the marshaller and the pushback tug driver. Taxi lights on, everything on. We can taxi out to runway 25 right as soon as we turn the APU off, because I always forget to do that. It's not one of the items. Mandatory wing view for those who care. I'll give you both sides so you can see. Look, there we go. Nice control surfaces. How pretty. Very good. Right, back to actually what we meant to do. Okay, so parking brake released. And as I said, we're on Bravo 7 now, so we will go around here and then left. I really need this guy to move away. Now we're going to have to put a bit more power in than usual to get it to move, because it's pretty heavy. Not too much though, like normally like 23% M1, this time it's taking 25% M1. This guy really needs to go away. What's he doing? He's doing a moonwalk onto his tug. No, don't come towards me. What are you doing? There's a ton of... Really? There is 6 miles of taxiway behind you and you chose... Wow. You chose to drive at me head on. That's really cool. Right, let's go. Where's it gone? Just drive away? There we go, let's go. Right, I'm going to put the weather radar on now, just in case there's anything bad, which there never is. I should set up an EasyDock taxi cam, so I don't have to deal with the PMDG one, because everyone knows it, the frame rate just like it dies. I still don't understand why they put that in, because the thing is you can't actually use it because it's that laggy, so you might as well just leave it out. At least then someone won't accidentally click it and complain that it's laggy. Just don't have it. But then I suppose people would complain that it doesn't exist. You can't please everyone, so whatever. Okay, so left here. Oh look, there's a ship in the water. What is that? Someone's missed a bit when they were painting. How can you actually do that? Like, I don't understand. How could you miss that out? Great. Okay, watch out for the Cathay Pacific catering van. If someone was parked on that stand, we would actually wipe them out. Maybe 777s can't taxi down here. I feel that this taxiway is too small for us. I probably should have checked the taxiway, the aerodrome documents, just to see. But the wing, let's have a look at the clearance on the other side. Is it going to hit that Cathay truck? Look at the beams of the lights. If the Cathay truck... Ooh, just... Anyway, you heard that bing, that was cabin ready. It means that we're good to go. Okay, so we are just at Alpha 12, even though we did just pass Alpha 12 twice. Scenery obviously can't make its mind up. Alpha 11 is back there, and then before that one is Alpha 12. I don't get it, whatever. Anyway, we're ready to go. So, transponder's already on, that's fine. Checklists are done, we can get the lights. Oh, come on. Strobe lights, and we can start the clocks.
Approaching 25 right.
I forgot to turn RAAS off, great. Can't even see the end of the runway, what's all that about? EasyDock is shifting because of the location on the planet, which is extremely annoying. I just fixed it as we were taxiing and now it's broken again.
On runway 25 right.
Actually, that's worked out quite well. Okay, let's do this. We'll keep it rolling. So 193 knots is V2, V1-187. This is going to take some doing, but anyway, let's go. There is about 55%-ish. And Toga. 105.3% M1 is what it's trying to achieve, and there we go, power is set just about through 80 knots. Approaching V1. Rotate extremely slowly. Pitch for about 12 degrees, 12.5 degrees, positive rate, and there's gear up. We'll pitch for that flat 5 speed so we don't overshoot it. LNAV into effect, left turn. Go to level change and then bump it up to the flat 5 speed. There's climb power. Straighten it out. Drop the nose. And then you can hit the autopilot straight away. And we can't see a single thing because the weather is rubbish. Okay, we'll climb on this for a bit. See where that departure takes us. Around the world, no doubt. Yep. And coming up on the left turn, we'll bug up to flat 1 speed. And that is what I call a sunset. Indeed. Okay, flap 1 is selected and travelling. And we can keep that going up actually to bug up speed, which is 261. You know you're heavy when you can't even do 250 knots below 10 without flaps down. Flaps up. Okay, altitude intervene, we're going to go auto, and we're going to go all the way up to 302. So there's 300. No, it's not, there's 300. 302 is set. We can intervene that just a few times to make sure there's no problems. Flaps are coming up, auto brakes off. We can go into VNAV, and we can let it carry on flying that departure itself. We're going to set standard because we're about to pass it anyway. And there we go. A successful departure out of Hong Kong with not much in the way of scenery, but it looks nice. The lighting is superb. Now we have to sit back and relax and enjoy 13 hours of flying. Let's just do the after takeoff checklist. It's already done. There we go. See? Simple stuff. It's always the best kind. Good morning from a very, very early and very tired Speedbird 28. Been in the air now for 11 hours and 45 minutes, and we have about another 300 or so miles left to go. We'll be landing into London just gone 5:30 in the morning. Everything's looking good at the moment. Still don't have an arrival in, but we'll do that a little bit further down the way. I'm just taking a look at the weather down there at the moment, and it looks like they're using the westerly runways. The wind is pretty much there is no wind. It's calm. It's 0. It's cav okay. 3 degrees. Dew point is 1. QNH is 1028. So the chances are that we'll be landing on the westerly runway. I can check that out though with flight radar 24, I guess. You know, flight radar 24, and see what they're landing. So oh, actually, that's interesting. They're landing on 09s. Okay, well we'll go with that then. Speedbird 78. Just it's just short final for 09 right, and they're landing on 09 right as well. Okay, this is unusual. There must be a reason for that. Okay, well we'll do that. We'll land on 09 right. So let's program this. We're in through Logan, which means that we'll be on the Lambourne 3 Alpha arrival. So depart arrive and 09 left ILS approach from Lambourne and Lambourne 3 Alpha. There it goes. And then we can check the legs out on that. So we're in through Sierra Papa Yankee, then Goro, then down over Amsterdam, Refso, Zaman, Logan, Trippo, Sabre, down into Lambourne. Holding at Lambourne if we need to, but we won't need to. I actually want to put 90 in there as a restriction. There we go. And then it's vectors down to the ILS. Good stuff. Good stuff. Planned landing weight this morning is 241 tons, so we'll stick that in, 241, and we'll use flat 25, so that gives us 154 knots across the ground. Actually, not across the ground at all. What am I talking about? Okay, so that's that. As far as everything else goes, it's just a case of waiting. Decision for 09 right is 280 feet, so I suppose we could put that in. It's still very dark though. The sun has not rose, but the sun will rise. Well, maybe not. It'll maybe be a little bit dark as we commence our approach, but it should be a little bit lighter. The sunrise is at 6 minutes past 6. Yeah, 6 minutes past 6. So we'll be on the ground, what, 20 minutes before that, so it'll be a little bit light. It won't be completely daylight, but you'll be able to see some stuff, and we should get some cool lights and stuff as we descend. What was I doing? Oh yeah, decision. So 280 feet. It needs to go the other way because it's on 410. So let's do it. 390, 380, 70, 60, 50. Too far. 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. 280 is set. And the QNH is 1028, so we can pre-tune that. 1015, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Done. Excelente. Okay, so that's us pretty much set for the approach. We can set the auto brake now. I'm gonna use auto brake 3 because it's 09s, which means I do want to slow down in a fashionable time so I can vacate and then taxi back to Terminal 5. Considering Terminal 5 is right where you touch down for 09 left and right. It's less taxi if I can slow down faster, so we'll use auto brake 3 on idle reverse with flat 25. That should just stop us in a decent amount of time. Apart from that, there isn't really much else to say. Look at the shadows. Even in a dark cockpit, the shadows look cool. Although, not quite sure where it's picking the shadows up from, because there isn't any natural light, but interesting. We'll see how that works out. Anyway, I'll talk to you once we start our descent. It should be about another, well, for me, another hour. No, not an hour. Another hour. Okay, yeah, exactly an hour for me, and circa 3 seconds for you. So, I've woken up a little bit more now, thankfully. It's it's a shock to the system when you get up that early and you have to start doing things that require brain power. Yep, flying virtual planes requires brain power. Who knew it? Okay, so we're just approaching Refso. 5 miles to go. And top of descent is just before REFSO. I've reset the MCP altitude to 9,000, or flight level 90, and that's going to take us all the way down to Lambourne, and there we go. After 12 hours and 22 minutes in the air, we start to descend. Look at that, 12 hours and 22 minutes. That's a time to be proud of by any standards. That's why these videos take so long. 12 hours and 22 minutes of just flying in the sky without doing anything. It's worth it though. So, the plan is to run into Lambourne and leave Lambourne, self-vector, establish on 9 right, land, park up. There should not be any delay. If there is a delay, I will be saddened. There is no ATC on that sim, ironically, and as far as traffic goes, I am the only one into Heathrow. Behind me is an American Airlines from JFK, is due to land in half an hour, so he'll land just after me. And then the Speedbird 66 Victor from Philadelphia is due to land 23 minutes past 6, so an hour from me. No, an hour and 20 minutes from me. And then Cathay in from JFK, and someone else. Who else did I see? There was another one. Ah, Speedbird again from JFK, but he's in a lot later on. So we're the first one in. We're at the front of the queue, so there should be no holding. There's no ATC, as I said, so that won't pose a problem. Hopefully we'll get some nice night lighting. This is why I did this flight at this time, because I really want to find some nice night lighting. I landed into London City on stream, and yeah, it was good because the night lighting was 10 out of 10. And it didn't lag, there was no frame rate issue. I have a feeling Heathrow will give me a bit of a frame rate issue. I'll be lying to you if I said I'm going to expect 30 FPS, because I'm not. If I get 20, I'll be happy. If I get less than 20, it's borderline annoying, borderline waste of time. But fingers crossed, we'll have some sort of decent performance. I'm trying to figure out whether I should land with the lights on or not, as in like the flight deck lights. I should probably dim them so I have like the ultimate concentration. But for now, it's just a case of descending and waiting. It's a waiting game. We've probably got about another 20 minutes of descending to go before we actually land, so I won't bore you with waiting. Okay, so there's Heathrow. Some nice lighting down there, looks pretty cool. And we are essentially on the downwind leg for runway 09 right. So we're going to start a descent down to 3,000 feet soon. And then we'll make a left turn at 34 miles from Lambourne, and then left turn to establish onto line right. ILS/localizer. I don't know why the night lighting has stopped there. I kind of wanted it to go all the way down there, but it's not. But oh well. It is what it is. It is what it is. VNAV path, and down we go. I'm still not sure whether I want to turn the lights off in the flight deck or not, but we'll see how that pans out. It's okay for now. I kind of like it versus the light outside, but if it gets too bright, then of course I'll dim it down. Looks nicer, doesn't it? I mean, if you look at the ground, you can see the traffic and stuff. I can't remember which motorway that is. There is a motorway that runs, I think it's that one there, is the M4 that comes out of London. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's a completely different one. I've driven down the M4 before, but I can't remember where it is in relativity to Heathrow. Anyway, so everything for now looks spot on, really. I don't have to do anything. It's all about monitoring systems. Now, if we aim for, what are we, 250 knots? So if we aim for flap 1 about there, and then flap 5 just before we establish, then flap 15 about there, then we'll take gear down just maybe 5 miles, and then we'll make sure we're full config by 4 miles. And let me just check that our approach speeds are all correct. 153 even, so it's a little bit out, but that's fine, we can fix that. So we're going to be approaching at 158 knots, which is about right, and then that will translate into enough speed over the threshold. The wind component's changed. It was calm, it's now 7 knots on the head, so it was actually 7 knots just from the right hand side. It gives it about a 5 knot headwind, so plus 5 onto the speed, and life is good. 7.7 tons of fuel are a little bit below what we anticipated, but that headwind really was an absolute bitch. Look at the time, 12 hours and 46 minutes, and we're only just about to turn base. It's a long flight. I don't know what the time of the real one does it in normally. This is like an exceptional night where the wind is strong, but I think they do it in about 11 hours and 30 on a good night. But hey ho, what do I know? I don't fly the thing in real life. Okay, so we should be starting to turn very, very soon. I don't know why it's not turning. Okay, there we go, it's turning now. So what I'll do is I'll speed intervene it, and I'll start dropping the speed back. And what we'll do is we'll take flap 1. You can see our flap limitation speeds are here. Flap 1 is 265. Flap 5 is, let's have a look, I should know these off by heart. Flap 5 is 245, 230 on 15, 20, 25. So essentially, as long as we're under 200 knots, we can take landing configuration flap, so that's not a problem. I wouldn't advise it, but at the same time, it's not going to break the aircraft if we do it. So, I'm going to go into flight level change, and I'm going to let it fly flight level change at 225 knots. Of course, we're now below transition level, so we need to go to an altitude. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to fly a southerly heading instead of letting LNAV deal with it. 180 degrees. And that should put us right in line for a continuous descent, fingers crossed. Nice scenery though, looks good. English countryside looks nice, even though it's not really countryside, but it feels like it. Good old Orbex. Look at that random road down there. Some golf course. Really know what's going on, to be honest with you. So we are massively above the glide, which is fine. We can employ some speed brakes. Speed brakes will increase our rate of descent. I'm not too bothered about slowing down just yet, because we still have an entire ILS to fly. See, there we go. So that speed brake fixed it essentially. So we can do flap 5 as well. We'll give it a bit more drag. Again, we've got till 245 knots. It's not a problem. As much as 245 knots even. It's no issue. There we go. We're now coming through the localizer. So, sorry, not the localizer, the glide path. So we'll stick the speed brake in, and we'll let that descend itself. We'll descend to 3,000. The missed approach is 3,000, so we'll just leave it there. And then we don't have to do much messing around with the... I thought that was an aircraft then. It must be some lights from a different airfield. Is that an airfield down there? Oh my god, look at that. It's a bit random, isn't it? Random lights as well, just appearing. Okay, we can turn to establish now. So 120, and on the localizer we can start to slow as well. So we'll do flat 5 speed. What is it? 184, 185, 185. There we go. I'm actually going to be quite sad if we go through the localizer here. Maybe we'll be okay. Maybe we'll slide onto it now we're going through it. God. I never overshoot localizers, as if I just did that. Because I decided to look out the window right at the last minute. Who does that? Oh well, it's fine. It'll still catch it. Glide slope is good. It can stay where it is. .092 is the runway heading, and that's set in the heading select window. And from that we can arm approach. See, it's tracking that localized. You can see the runway there, it's pretty clear. So I'm going to go flat 15 now and let it ride the glide with 15, and then a little bit later on we'll take gear down and 25. We'll start bringing that speed back as well, so it's not going to try and tank down the ILS with full power. I'm going to arm the speed brake, and we'll pretend we did all the descent checklists. No, we did. It's really not that difficult. Auto brake set, recalls okay, landing data set, and approach briefing is complete, and the approach checklist with the altimeters is sorted. So it's just a landing checklist now. It's the last thing left. So we'll take gear down now, and with that we'll go flap 25. Speed brake is armed. Let me just check that. Why am I getting configure? Wait, what? The gear is down. I'm right. Okay. This is not fun. Gear. No. I don't understand. The gear is down. Like, there's no warnings on the tires. I guess that was just a delayed reaction of the gear? I don't really know. That was very strange. Okay, anyway, I just pretend that didn't happen. Nose light on, and we can disconnect the autopilot now. Double press, away we go. Everything is set. Let's land. 12 hours and 51 minutes. We're actually going to be a couple of minutes early, considering it was meant to be 13 hours and 1 minute. So that's cool. What we need to do now is set the speed to 158, which is there, like that. And now we're good. We don't dip below because the speed changed. Look at the traffic, so cool. The traffic, the sky, it's just the immersion is off the scale. It's very, very nice. Screenshot time right there. That can be a thumbnail. Let's hope I grease this. I think the AFCAD versus the PAPIs are a bit off. Because, you know, we're only... It said we were on profile and the diamond's way below. It's a bit strange.
Plus 100.
Here we go.
Decision
Over
height.
the threshold we go. Decision height is landing for us.
50. 30. 20. 10.
And down we go. Keep it straight, idle reverse. Decelerating very nicely. There's 80. I'll take manual braking from here. There's 60. And we'll get off at this rapid exit here. Very good. Put a bit more braking on there. There we go. Job's a good one. Welcome to London. Now, Terminal 5. That's where we have to go. Flaps in. Speed brake can come in. We'll take first left on Alpha. We actually took far more of the runway than I wanted to. But oh well, that's fine. I was expecting that I would slow down a little bit faster. Okay, so we can put the taxi light on. Keep the turn off on, why not? Get rid of the strobe. Ooh, strobe. And also, we can turn off the transponder. Actually, I think Heathrow's mode Charlie, isn't it? Doesn't matter. We'll turn it off anyway. And from that, we can turn on the APU. I can't remember what the cooldown is from using reverse thrust to starting APU. Maybe there isn't a cooldown. Maybe I just made that up. And the flight director on the other side can go off as well. We can also stop the clock. 12 hours and 55 minutes is what it took, which is pretty cool. So yeah, there we go. Now we need to find a stand. Well, I can't be bothered to go and look at what stand Speedbird 28 parked on, so I'm just going to attempt to guess that it was somewhere on the Charlie Pier. We'll go find somewhere to park on there. So, I decided to take 545, Terminal 5 Charlie. Get rid of all the lights now so we don't blind the guy that's going to marshal us in, if there is even a marshaller. Might be safe dock actually, I can't remember what it is here even. It's also an inherent ability to not be able to speak at 6:12 in the morning, or 6:02 in the morning even. It's actually a 10-minute discrepancy between my real life clock and the flight sim clock, which is interesting. So, anyway, it's up here on the left, next stand. Actually, no, the one after that. That's 44. Here's the stairs. And here is our stand. Yeah, I think it's safe dock. Turning on to these are interesting, though. Because this thing is one long aircraft. So, I need to kind of swing it out wide. Probably about there will be okay. See, it was not even, that wasn't even good enough. It's ridiculous how much you have to overshoot the turns on this aircraft. That's why you need a cam that works. There we go, that's okay. I wonder if safe dock's actually going to work. I don't know if it's working, it doesn't say anything. Weird. Oh, it does work. Nice. That was random. Excellent. Okay, well, there we go. Parking brake set. APU should already be on, which it is. We can kill the engines. And we can turn off the beacon light, which is here. Done. And we can turn off the hydraulics. As before, get rid of the fuel pumps. And everything else is really done. That's all we need to do. Get rid of the seatbelt sign so people can get off the aircraft. I just turned the APU off. No, that was a really bad idea. Yep, I just broke everything. That was really cool of me. I misclicked. I thought that was the seatbelt for some reason, and it completely wasn't. That's what happens when tiredness and flying are mixed together. Okay, so GSX can deboard us. I wonder if we have moving air bridges. No, we don't. Of course we don't. Okay, fair enough. So, there you have it. It's a shame the air bridges don't work, but whatever. Speedbird 28 in the bag. Parked up at London Heathrow after a wrong flight. I think I parked on the wrong line here, actually. I don't know what that's for. I'm trying to see. I just looked down then to see what line it's at. Oh, this is for a 777-300. The 777 line is there. I parked on the wrong line. Oh well, sue me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a pretty long flight, a pretty long video. But I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth your time. And I'm going to go pretty much sleep for the rest of my life now. So yeah, I hope it was worth it. Thanks very much for watching. Until the next video, as always, take care and goodbye.